Hey guys, it's Miss Binion,
Hey guys, it's Mr. Holden.
and we're here with flip video 3 for Gilded Age. And the essential question still is, in what ways, good and bad, is life changing after the Civil War and during the Gilded Age? And the learning target:
Explain the causes and the consequences of Gilded Age politics and the differing opinions between farmers, wage earners, and industrial capitalists.
Cool. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about monopolies and more about big business. We had talked about Andrew Carnegie and Vanderbilt. So monopolies basically are a single company that controls the entire market. John D. Rockefeller is going to be the first to get one of these monopolies, and he controls 90% of the oil market. This is outlawed eventually, and business leaders create trusts instead. So we'll get to what a trust is in a second. These are the types of monopolies. The first one is vertical integration. Andrew Carnegie was the first to have one of these monopolies. So if you see, it's a process in which a company buys out all its suppliers. So if this is the steel company, then he also bought the steel mill and the shipping facilities and the mines that were contributing to the steel company. This basically cuts out the middleman and makes it cheaper for him to produce steel. So this is called a vertical integration monopoly. Now, the other type of monopoly, the one that you're more familiar with, is the horizontal consolidation, which is John D. Rockefeller was the first one. So it's basically when you have one company and they go buy all the other companies that are the same, and basically it like merges out competing companies. So kind of like if we talked about in class, like gas stations, like if there's three gas stations next to each other and they're all different gas stations, they can compete. But if they're all the same gas station, then whoever owns them gets to control the prices. All right, so vertical integration and horizontal integration. Some other things that come along with this: after monopolies are outlawed, the way to get around this was by creating a trust, which is a group of separate companies placed under the control of a single managing board. So Rockefeller, after it was outlawed that he couldn't have a monopoly, then he had a trust. So basically, he sort of still owned those companies. He controlled them. And they all had a board, so it was still knockout competition. Critics called these practices unfair, and the business leaders robber barons. So these are just some political cartoons, and things to keep in mind about a political cartoon is they're going to exaggerate things that are going on to try to make a point. And so if we look at these, and we're going to discuss these more in class, you can see that the trusts here are representative. They're pirates, and they're pushing Uncle Sam out the door, which is saying that the trust is not the American way. So then we'll talk about, this is the trust is the angry gorilla here, and he's got Lady Liberty. All right, so some other things about the rise of big business. A lot of this comes down to the theory of social Darwinism, pretty much just talking about natural selection. This is Charles Darwin theory. They use this theory to explain business. Basically, like, those who are going to survive will survive, like it's survival of the fittest. That the government should not interfere. If your business fails, it's because your business fails, and you didn't do what it takes. So this policy we know as, it's called laissez-faire, which was in video 2. It's a policy that the U.S. had. Basically keeps the government from interfering with business. And then we also have our idea of captains of industry, a positive idea that industrial leaders worked hard and deserved their wealth. All right. So some other things that come with the rise of big business is the idea of the gospel of wealth, which was by Andrew Carnegie, that said it's a belief that the wealthy are chosen by God to be successful, and that they're responsible for helping out those less fortunate. Many industrialists shared this view, and they would use their wealth they would donate it to charities. After Andrew Carnegie passed away, he donated $350 million. And maybe not after he passed away, I'm pretty sure it was just later on in his life, to create museums and libraries. And then we've already talked about Monopoly, and if you'll remember playing the Monopoly game. Some things to get rid of the rise of big business, and this would be something that would be good that Benjamin Harrison did, is that he outlawed a combination of companies. It was the Antitrust Act. Basically, like, he's trying to prevent monopolies here and saying that trusts are not okay. It was not enforced properly until later on, and that will be with a future president, and that's the Clayton Antitrust Act, which I think that's Woodrow Wilson. All right, and that's it for today. Hope you got your notes, and we'll see you in class.